Hi, I'm Crystal,
And I'm Karin.
and you're listening to the Rom-Com Detectives. Welcome to Rom-Com Detectives, episode 49, California Bureau of My Ass. The next episode in our Mentalist unit. Today, Karen and I will be breaking down the 20th episode of the first season called Red Sauce.
This episode originally aired on April 28th, 2009. It was written by Owen Mahoney and directed by Adam Kane.
So, before we get started, just wanted to say Happy New Year to all our listeners.
Yay! Happy New Year.
This is our first Mentalist episode of 2026, so we'll see how far we get. I guess by the end of the year, we'll probably be on season 3. You think? I don't know. It's kind of hard to figure it out now because we alternate between 3 different units. So
Yeah, I think we'll be at least close. When did we
yeah,
start recording?
February. So we're
I was
approaching
thinking.
1 year of Rom-Com Detectives. So
So we made it through 20 episodes.
well, yeah, that's
Yeah,
a good way to look at it. And although we were stacked in the beginning because it
and
was just meant to. Oh,
yeah.
yeah. So maybe we won't be on season 3. See, I love season 2, though, so I can't wait for us to get to that one. All right, let's get to the case briefing. Why don't you start us off with the DVD booklet
Yes,
description?
this amazing summary. I think the blurb writer was starting to get tired at this part of the process. This is what they say. Golf buddies. Patrick uses his skills on the links to befriend a crime boss who may have offed an FBI informant.
That just made me wonder, why is it called the Lynx? Is that referring to golf?
That is, yeah. Yes, that's golf.
It's so weird.
I don't know why. I only know that I played a lot of like golf video games growing up because that was one of the easy video games they could do in the 80s. So that's the only reason I know that.
Oh, okay. So I Googled it and it says that the word lynx comes from the Anglo-Saxon word clink. I don't know how to say that correctly, meaning a ridge or rising ground. That's interesting. So it's like an old definition.
Yes, from Scotland.
Interesting. Well, I've learned something new from this. Title relevance: the victim's wife laments the lack of good Italian food in California, and Jane cooks her a meal with marinara sauce.
Victim and cause of death, Ed Diedrichson, aka Eddie Russo, was found dead with a gunshot to the head. And they don't go into great detail about why the CBI is involved, but at a guess, I think it's because of where the body was found. It was about 15 miles away from the town he was living in, kind of in the middle of nowhere. He was carried downriver during a flood, and there was no ID. So small town vibes, dead person in the middle of nowhere, call the CBI.
Yeah, the case mostly takes place in a town called Sierra Vista. Is that a real town or made up? Because they do have made up towns sometimes. And
I looked it up. There is a Sierra Vista about 2 hours south of Sacramento, but geography-wise, it's probably made up.
The killer in this one was the wife, Gina Russo. Her motive was anger over an affair. Guest stars, there were quite a few notable ones. There's Frankie Ingracia. She played Gina. She's from Goliath 911. And she was on The X-Files in the episode The Rain King. There's Dan Laria. He played Sonny. He has over 200 acting credits. He's a very familiar face. I think he often plays like military or like a mobster, like in this one. But yeah, he's been on Party of Five, Jag, Sullivan and Son, and Law and Order. There's Andy McKenzie. He played Tiny, which is a tiny role, but worth mentioning. But he has over 100 acting credits. He's been a True Detective, and he's apparently a soap star. So And then last of all, there's Frederick Lane. He played Marshall Exley. He's got over 160 acting credits, and he was actually the Marshall on Lost in the first season, the one who's taking Kate to the back to the US from Australia.
Oh,
And
okay.
he was on Westworld, and the thing I remember him most from is X-Files. He played the young Arthur Dales. He's in the Unnatural, which is one of my favorite episodes. So I like seeing him.
Nice.
Jane's skills in the episode. I only noted down deduction and hypnotism. Were there any other ones? Maybe we should put cooking.
Yeah, there you go. Yes.
Okay, let's get to the episode breakdown. So it starts with a birthday party for Lisbon they're having in the office. She blows out the candles on her cake. And this is actually one of our Discord emojis. She opens her gifts and Jane guesses on what her gifts are. She gets a yoga mat from Grace, a spa treatment gift card from Rigsby, and is it wine or is it champagne?
Champagne.
Champagne. Oh yeah, from Cho. But Grace asks where Jane's gift is, and he says it's on its way.
And no one believes him.
Okay, so Rigsby scoffs, and Lisbon says, typical. But he keeps insisting that it's on its way. And he says this line that a lot of fans fixate on. He says, little grumpy because daddy didn't buy you a pony. And so there's there's a few other things to unpack, but let's just start with this one though. So, do you think he was late with his gift? Because he says this pony thing in reaction to her being grouchy, and then he gets her a pony later on. So
Yeah.
it kind of seems like he got the gift after this.
It
So
kind of feels like he's reading her reaction when he
yeah.
says that. Like he's
Oh, so you
gauging
think that he
the
so
response. But I don't know. I don't know. In this, and I was gonna address this later, but in the script, it's really a throwaway line kind of to the guys, just
uh
making a joke. But as they played it in the episode, it looks like he's reading her.
so no, but I guess what I'm asking is, do we think that he did not get her a gift and he gets her the pony in reaction to how she reacts? Or
Right,
had he
yeah.
already got the pony and was he just dropping it so that he could like have like a aha moment later on?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question. 'Cause I mean, it's a pony. It's like you don't recognize these things.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. I don't know either. It could be either one, but I don't like the idea that Jane totally like didn't get her anything.
Right.
Like maybe I just feel a little sympathetic to Lisbon's grumpiness because she does seem grumpy.
Well, she also has a dead body on her birthday.
Yeah, yeah. Other things to know about this scene is that Cho smiles so much during this.
Yes.
He's got a lot of big smiles during all the gift openings, and then he mentions Jane asks him, "Oh, is it a re-gift?" And he says, "I've." What does he say? He says, "I've heard it's really good, and I don't drink it." So
Yeah.
like on rewatch, I kind of took it to mean that he doesn't drink in general because this is a thing that happens later that is revealed later on. But I don't know what I thought when I first saw it. It just kind of sounded like he's not going to drink that.
Yeah, that's how I always interpreted that as he doesn't drink this particular wine, or maybe he doesn't like wine or champagne. But then if you're observant, which you do have to be observant, they don't explicitly tell you he doesn't drink alcohol, but if you're paying attention, he never drinks again
Yeah, yeah.
in the show.
Like
So,
there's a scene in season 2, right? With
yeah, that's the
Bosco.
most
Yeah,
notable. Yeah.
yeah. So they Grace gets a call about the body, so they go down to the scene, and the man is dead in a bunch of tree debris with a gunshot to the forehead. So two items were found on him, and before they can speculate any further, Jane just declares, "Oh, he worked at an arcade to the north." I like when he just throws like things out, and they're just like, "Huh? How?" But when Lisbon asks, "Oh, how can you possibly know that?" he says that he asked for confirmation that there was a big storm last week, and so he basically explains that where they're standing, it was probably like a flooded area, like underwater. And Cho says that, oh yeah, so maybe he got stuck in a tree, he washed down the river. And then so Rigsby had mentioned the coin thing. He called it like a weird medallion, right, or something.
Yeah, like a religious medallion or something.
I guess the diamond in the middle made him think it was like something you wear.
Yeah. I don't know, it seems like a leap to me.
Yeah, it looked like a token. And he called the toy a weird straw.
Yeah, like to see him try that.
I bet you Rigsby would make a terrible witness to a murder. Jane explains that the or the medallion thing is a game token from an arcade, and that the straw is a toy called, he calls it a Peruvian finger cuff, but that's never what I've heard them
Yeah, me
called.
either. Mhm.
And I think they must have changed that to avoid saying that it's typically referred to as a Chinese finger trap, because I think it's considered to be culturally insensitive to call it that by some people. So I don't know. Because I mean,
Yeah.
I did Google Peruvian finger cuff, and the
Yeah,
only things I saw
thing
were
that
from the
yep.
Mentalist. So it's not actually called that. So
Yeah, I just searched for it and it shows me the Chinese finger trap. So,
yeah. But yeah, if you've never played with it, basically you stick one finger on each side, and when you pull it out, your fingers get stuck because the weaving in the thing kind of collapses and it tightens, and so you can't get your fingers out. And the way to get your fingers out is to just relax and push back in, and then it'll ease up and you can pull your fingers out. So after they head out, Jane's asks Lisbon if she's grumpy over her lack of birthday gift. She's like, oh, I don't give a damn about your gift. So do you think she's being sincere, or is she irritated?
I I I don't know that she's necessarily annoyed at the lack of a gift, but more that he's
He's
just
pestering her about it.
pestering her about it.
Like I guess I can see where like she was initially irritated, but she got
Yeah.
over it really fast. Like it's no big deal. It's actually no big deal. But the fact that he keeps saying, "Are you grumpy about this?" just irritates her even more.
Yeah.
Because that's how I would be. I'll be like, "Yeah, it's fine, whatever." And then if it's like becomes this recurring thing, it's like, "Can you shut up already?"
But I love how Jane asked Rigsby, "Is she grumpy with me?" And he's like, "I'm not touching that."
Nuh-uh. See, that reinforces to me the whole mom and dad thing for me. Like, we've talked about the whole sibling thing, but I seriously feel like they have more like mom and dad vibes.
Yeah, I would
They're
agree.
mom and dad of the team. But yeah, so they arrive at an arcade in Sierra Vista. And I like this part. It was executed very nicely. Jane
Yes.
bums $1 off of Cho. He says he'll give it right back. And then he puts it in the coin machine for tokens, and he confirms that the coin with the diamond cut out in it is from this arcade. And he gives it back to Cho. He just looks at it like, oh,
What am I
whatever.
what am I gonna do with this?
But he hands it to a kid and says, "Have fun." But the kid was gonna get tokens from the machine, so he just snatches the dollar out of his hand, and then he just hands the dollar back to Cho. I like that little exchange.
Yeah, that's perfect.
But they go to talk to the owner, and that's how they get the ID of the victim. His name is Ed Diedrichson. He said he's really reliable, a good worker, and he's like a shift manager, and he like kind of polices the kids that frequent the arcade, which he says he was really good at. But Jane putters around his office while Lisbon questions him, and he starts giving him a hard time about trusting him, I guess. Like, why do you think he was doing that with this guy in particular?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a lot of just kind of wordplay, really. Just
He's
teasing
kind of
out. I don't know if he
aggressive.
was it felt that way, yes. And later, Jane does say he doesn't trust this guy,
Yeah.
but it never really comes to anything.
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, he helps them crack the case, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah, he just gives them the information and carries on with his life. It's not they don't really come back to him at all.
but he tells them that he had called the wife of the victim, and she said that he was away on a family emergency. And I wanted to note that because I feel like that should have been something that clued them in
Yeah.
that they didn't bring back into play, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they never really follow up on that. That doesn't match her report that he was missing in the first place.
Yeah, because they go to talk to her, and yeah, her story doesn't line up with what he said. So, but did you notice that he had like an old CRT monitor?
Uh-huh.
He had a very low tech office, but
Yeah. Well, even the video games and the pinball machine that Jane plays is very old.
uh
That is ancient. So they're small town behind the times, I would say.
I like that Jane was looking around and looking in his like magnifying. What are those things called? The magnifying light. I actually have one. I use
Oh, nice.
I use it for knitting. You know when I'm knitting fingering yarn?
Oh, yeah.
It's so tiny. So it's like I need to use my magnifying light. But yeah, so Lisbon has Jane stay at the arcade with Rigsby, and I have to talk about this the fact that Jane and Rigsby are there. So because I noticed something that I don't know if I noticed before. So they're gonna go talk to because she wants them to talk to the kids that Diedrichson was supposedly supposed to keep in line at the arcade. And Lisbon, Cho, and Van Pelt are going to go talk to the wife. So Rigsby, I love this line. Rigsby's not pleased because he says he hates interviewing teenagers because it's like talking to mud. Can confirm.
I have a hard time correlating that image with how is it muddy?
Well, it's just, I guess he's just implying that they're very thick headed and stubborn, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
yes, you can talk to them all you want and ask them all the questions you want, but that doesn't mean they're going to
Right.
respond.
Right. But Jane's not concerned at all.
Yeah. He's just like, stay close.
Learn from the master.
Kids are his jam. I love that he calls one a midget villain. That was going to be one of my suggestions for episode title. But he takes over the pinball game that they're playing once the teenager loses. And then we go to the victim's house. Van Pelt's giving them the rundown on the couple. They don't have any kids. They moved from Texas 2 years ago, and they paid for the house in cash. Which I think when I first saw this episode, I was like, "Oh, witness protection." It's one of those sure signs that it's going to be one of those U.S. Marshal cases.
Nice.
So back at the arcade, Rigsby is making pretty good progress on one of those giant lollipops. Okay, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? It's one of those ones that are like rainbow colored and it's in a
Rainbow
circle.
swirl. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I think every kid has convinced their parents at one point in their life to get one, right? I've never finished one.
They
They're
are
impossible.
huge.
They're huge and there's so
Huge.
much sugar. I think the only way I think my brother has finished one. I'm the kind of person who likes to lick lollipops or suck on lollipops, but my brother was the kind who would just go nuts and crunch the
Oh,
whole
no.
thing and eat it. So I'm pretty sure my brother's finished those before, but I used to just look at him like, "Oh my god, your teeth!" Because just but yeah, Rigsby and actually part of it looks like it's bitten off at the top. So I feel
It
like
does. Yeah.
Rigsby might have bitten it, but he must have been waiting for Jane for quite a while to have made that much progress. And the fact that he has one,
Yeah.
I mentioned it in Discord, and somebody was like, "So did Jane buy him one to keep him occupied?" I love that idea. But while Jane is playing the game, he's like racking up like high scores and everything. but he's talking while he's playing, and so he's hypnotizing the teen boy who is playing. I don't know why he zeroes in on this particular teen. Is there any mention of why in the script? Because I mean, why does he pick
No,
one teen?
he's just the teen who gave them attitude, right?
Yeah. But he was just playing at the pinball machine. I don't know,
Yeah,
maybe it's because everybody was gathered around him, so he maybe thought he was some kind of like ringleader
maybe.
of some kind of
Yeah,
group of kids or something, so he's the one to talk to.
could be. And he definitely knew the victim.
Yeah. But he hands the game off to the midget villain and he takes he takes the teen boy to go talk to him. And I wanted to note that on IMDb he's credited as being named Putt Putt. I thought that was funny.
Yep.
I also thought it was weird too because they're in an arcade, not like a mini golf course or anything like that. But it's still amusing. But realizes that Jane has gone off to go talk to someone, and he goes and follows him. And oh my god, I took a screenshot of it, but he's just sitting there trying to look cool while Jane interviews him while holding his lollipop. And there's even a part where he's trying to look serious, but you can see a bit of sticky sugar on his chin.
Not his most professional moment.
No. Jane questions the boy about Ed, and he tells him about how another kid gave him the finger, and Eddie reached out and just broke his finger. So that I think tells Jane right there that Ed has like some kind of background in this in a more serious
Yeah,
atmosphere than just wrangling kids at an arcade kind of thing because that's a
that's
pretty
pretty hardcore, especially for a arcade worker.
I know. But the kid didn't seem to know that Ed was dead, and so he triggers him and gets him out of his trance. And there's a part where he mentions a VIG, and so I
Yeah,
didn't know what that is, so I had to look it up. And VIG stands for vigorish, and it means house cut or commission. So I guess whenever he was making a sale, that would just be his cut of the deal. So because he says that Ed would take a large VIG, so
yeah. He would, yeah, because he would sell them drugs and he would lend them money, but take a big cut.
So back at the Dietrichson house, okay, this part really bugs me.
Oh my goodness, me too. Because especially when you consider the passage of time and how they're going back and forth between the arcade, what's happening at the arcade and what's happening at this house. I'm like, how long have they just been wandering around this house
Yeah,
without
and like, uh,
doing anything?
yeah, and like they see her, right?
Yeah,
They know she's home, but they can't get in. Cho has apparently gone around to the back to try to get in, and it's like Lisbon says they don't have time for a warrant, and then she does the whole thing where they're like, "But I think someone's in danger, so we should just use this as an excuse to go in," and it's
wink,
like.
wink,
So they burst in, they literally kick her door in,
with
and
their
they draw
guns.
with their guns drawn, and they go into the house. And so I don't know, I mean, did they have cause to think that she was in danger, or did they just want to get into the house? And I was really struggling with the police logic that Lisbon uses here because
Yeah,
I mean, they saw her at the window.
at the
They
window.
know someone's home. They're really just there to talk to the victim's
Yep.
wife.
We
So
don't see
why?
them knock on the door. We
Yeah,
don't see them try to call her. Like they would have had her
yeah,
phone number
yeah,
from because the boss was able to call,
yeah.
so they probably had her number. They have her name. I mean, like, they have resources, but they're
Yeah,
just kind of
and they just go in guns blazing.
yeah,
Like, it was weird. It was
I
just it felt
mean,
very manufactured drama to me, and I didn't like it. It was just it didn't make any sense why they would kick her door down and go in without a warrant, just, on
yeah.
that flimsy excuse kind of thing. And then the fact that when, Jenny greets them with a shotgun, she shows her badge and she shows her cell phone. Like, I have a cell phone. What?
I know.
showing her your phone too. Why didn't
I'm
you say
gonna
I have a phone? Like what? So
and
confused.
her plan is to call someone in a uniform to show that, "Hey,
Yeah.
we're okay." I mean,
Yeah.
at this
Why
point, we
why
haven't
couldn't they
seen
do
them.
that before?
Yeah, we haven't really seen them talk to the police in this town. They were with some, like, forensic people at the river,
Yeah.
but yeah, it is just kinda out of nowhere. Like, "We're gonna have excessive force now."
It's like the Wild West. It's just, it's very frustrating to watch this. And it's like from the perspective of the wife, like she I think had every reason to be freaking out. Because here's
Yeah,
these three plainclothes people bursting down her door, pointing guns at her because I mean Cho is pointing his gun up at her, right? And just why would she believe anything they have to say, right? I just feel like Lisbon put them all in danger unnecessarily.
yeah, I could see that. But, I mean, it's her birthday. She just she just wants to get this dealt with and move on.
It pains me to criticize Lisbon,
I
but
know.
uh, I mean, the last time was in Crimson
Just one time.
Casanova, right? No, it was in Crimson Casanova where she's like, "Well, we can't find the murder weapon. He didn't do it." What? Blame writing. But so the wife Jenny says she's gonna count to 10 before she starts shooting. She actually tells them that she has people coming too, so you know that people are gonna burst into. And sure enough, more people break down her other door. She's got
Uh-huh.
the U.S. Marshals are gonna have to pay to replace both of those doors.
I know. I had to, like, go back and be like, "Why? Why did they break the second door?" But they were surrounding the CBI people,
Yeah,
basically, so
yeah.
some came in the door that was already broken also.
But so the lead marshal actually he gets everyone to stand down, including the wife, and then they tell them why they're there, that Ed is dead, and the wife starts crying. And I thought it was really touching that she's so overwhelmed and Cho like offers his hand and helps her down the stairs. That was really nice. But the marshal tells them that she had actually reported him missing 3 days ago. So that starts like this whole like critical thing between the CBI and the marshals because and especially Jane because he's
Mhm.
kind of critical of them outside. He explains to them that Ed is Eddie Russo, and I was just wondering, like, is it common for them to give them the same name?
I wondered that too. Ed and Eddie, it's not
Yeah,
very
it's
different.
still Edward, right? Because they changed her name. She went from Gina to Jenny.
Yeah, it's still similar, I suppose. Yeah, they would wanna keep it close enough so that they
Where
can
you would
adapt to it.
yeah, yeah. But, like, why didn't he become, like, Ned or something? You know what I
There you
mean?
go.
It's still his
Nettie.
name. Oh, boy. But, yeah, so he explains that he's on the run or he's in witness protection from the Battaglia family because he testified against, the main guy, and he got two of his sons put in prison. And when they ask him what he thinks happened, he says that the most common thing is that people can't help contacting people from their old life, and that leads to them getting found out, and I guess sometimes their death. I think I can't remember if I talked about it on this unit or another unit, but I had looked it up at one point. Apparently, the actual real witness protection program, they say that they have a perfect record of keeping people safe, but
Wow.
only if the people actually listen to their guidelines. So it kind of reads to me like people have
Yeah.
died in witness protection, but it's usually their fault.
Ouch.
Yeah.
And I do suppose that them being a witness protection does excuse Gina's cover story of the him being away on a family emergency because she wouldn't want to outright she couldn't say,
Yeah. I
"Well,
guess.
he's in
Yeah.
we're in witness protection and he's missing."
But he tells Jane tells the marshals that Eddie was selling drugs and pills to kids. And that's kind of starts off like some friction because, Jane can't help but poke at people when he
Oh, yeah.
notices their shortcomings. So Grace talks to Gina, who's the wife, and she says that the last time she heard from him was Friday night when he didn't come home from work, which I guess is when she reported him being missing to the marshals. She rants about the food in California, specifically mentioning they put pineapple on their pizza. I love it. Cho's like,
Yep, yep. That
he's like,
tracks.
ah. I love that little detail. And it cracks me up that Tim now lives in in Hawaii. But so here Jane kind of picks up on the fact that the wife is lonely out here. He asks who she talks to, and she says no one, the wind. And when he asks her who she thinks told the battalions where they are, she says she thinks it's one of the marshals. But he's really intense with this woman. It comes up later on too. He leans in and he looks her right in the eyes and he promises her that they're gonna find who killed
Yeah,
Ed.
yeah.
So I don't know if this is why he looks at her so intensely later. Like maybe at this point he just felt bad for her being the wife of the victim. Maybe she was just really convincing and he believed her. I don't know. I wanted to discuss that later though. So Lisbon sends Van Pelt and Rigsby to go hunt down the biker Tiny, who is in the gang the X's. So there's no mention of Rigsby's background with bikers in this point at this
No,
point,
there isn't.
which
So,
is interesting.
they must not have
Developed
decided
that yet?
that yet.
Yeah,
'Cause that comes in next season, right? Season
yeah, I
2?
think so. Yeah, but a man charges right at Rigsby, and they're fighting on the floor, and Grace chases Rigsby by accident. I mean, I think it's just on his hand, right? But
Yeah.
he's like, "Ah, you got me."
Yay.
But Tiny offers like an important bit of information. He basically tells him about how he got busted with Eddie with 10 pounds of weed 2 weeks ago, and that when he went before the judge, Eddie was already gone. Like he wasn't even on the docket, so he had gotten his drug charge dropped somehow, and he was just
Yeah,
gone. So that's how he knew. That's how this guy Tiny insisted that he was a snitch, because he felt like you can't get something like that covered up if you're not well connected with someone in law enforcement. So
right. But the marshals said they didn't know anything about the drugs.
yeah.
So, dun dun dun, somebody's lying.
So I didn't understand why at this point they didn't confirm who, because it's like a mystery, right? They're like, so they say that there's no vehicle reported in the crime. They were busted walking around with 10 pounds of marijuana, and Cho
Yeah,
mentions that that kind of implies that there's some kind of cover-up going on, that details were omitted from the arrest and things
yeah.
like that. They talk about like whether it's the marshals, and but at this point I don't understand why they didn't confirm who who got him off, because they do it later. They confirm that it was Knox. So
Mhm. But Exley, is that his name?
yeah,
Exley, her partner, didn't know about it. I think genuinely. I think Knox was acting out of line as a love interest.
yeah. I guess no, but what I'm saying is I don't understand why they didn't confirm who got him off, because you hear
Yeah,
that somebody got him off. So why isn't the first logical thing you do is, well, who signed him out,
like,
right?
figure that out. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
So
all been wiped. There's not even that record.
but they confirm it later. That's
Man.
my point. Plot hole. Plot hole. Small one, but so Van Pelt mentions that Sonny Battaglia retired after his sons went to prison, and just by some coincidence, he retired from Philadelphia in California.
Yep.
Because, Philadelphia is a little too far for them to drive in like a couple hours. But she says that Sunny is retired in Palm Desert. And Jane's like, Palm Desert? Like in California? I like how this was like, no, no, you can't. And he's like, he's trying to confirm again. It's in
but
California, right?
but that's in California? No, it's not in California? Are you sure? It's in California, right? And I looked up Palm Desert, and there is one, a city of Palm Desert, about 8.5 hour drive
Oh,
south of
ouch.
Sacramento. It's east of LA, and it's I found it very amusing. Lisbon never confirms that it is in California. She doesn't want to say yes at any point to Jane. So when they bring in the titles for the location, they just have Palm Desert on its own and then slowly fade in California.
California.
Like, yes, it really is here.
But yeah, Jane rolls up in a golf course and he approaches Sunny and he mentions Eddie Russo. And the guy Sunny, like, he like immediately has somebody point a gun at him, tells
Oh,
him to
yeah.
shoot him. Jane doesn't like having guns pointed at. I mean, nobody does, I'm sure.
Oh, no.
But he talks his way out of it. He says there are 3 reasons he's not terrified. He's scared, not terrified. Says Sonny didn't get to be old and rich by shooting people on golf courses. I love that the guy's like, until now.
Until now.
2, he says he can significantly improve his golf game. And 3, he knows where to find Eddie Russo. And that catches his attention. And then, like, later on, or he tells him that to improve his swing, he needs more flow. And he figures out from him what his favorite song is, which is Santa Lucia. And I gotta look it up. But because Jane refers to his clubs as one of those sticks, and
Uh-huh.
I think Jane had said at one point that golf is one of his areas that he doesn't really know too well. I think it was in the Christina Fry episode. Hang on. Okay, so this is from Seeing Red. I don't know. Okay, it's Van Pelt. She says, "Excuse me, but you might consider the possibility that she actually, honestly, is in touch with something beyond your understanding." And Jane says, "That would be golf and musical theater of the 30s and 40s."
Nice callback.
Yeah, so golf is apparently one of his weak points. So he's bluffing completely here. Either that or he like brushed up on his golf stuff. But the fact that he calls them sticks maybe
Not the
indicates that.
fat one, and yeah.
And I like that he tells him not the fat one, but they hand him a giant driver.
They do. It's like, "Oh, okay, I guess we're using the fat one."
So the marshals come in to talk to Lisbon, and what was with Cho just like watching them from the
I
couch?
know. I know. In in the script, he comes in later. But as they filmed it, yeah, he's just kind of there in the background, like he's witnessing their conversation, but he's not part of the conversation,
He's
which is kind
staring
of
very
weird.
intensely at the
Yes.
backs of their heads. But yeah, so this is where Lisbon mentions that Exie got off of a drug charge, and they deny it, or Exie denies it. But Exie says he's already testified, so that the government doesn't really care about him
Oh, no.
anymore. And I was just like, oh wow, is that how it is with U.S. Marshals? Once you testify, you're kind of like stuck on like second. You get like
Oh,
secondary care or something. Oh, but it was brutal. He called
oh,
Lisbon
just
disrespectful and dumb. And
yes.
I don't know, like, what did you think of her reaction to that? She just kind of like looks at him like,
Hmm.
oh,
And then Cho is like, "Bye now."
yeah.
Like, there is no defense. It just bounces off there, and they keep going. Yeah, it was very antagonistic the whole way through here with Exley.
But she asked Cho where Jane is, and Cho stops and he's like, try not to get mad. But I think he went to talk to Sunny. And I wanted to mention here that I like Cho's like loyalty to Jane because I feel like I'm noticing that a bit more while we're watching this season pretty closely. And it happens again later. But I like Cho's like quiet, fierce loyalty to Jane.
Yeah, yeah.
He's very defensive of him, and I really like that. So back at the golf course in Palm Desert, very far away. Traffic report. Sonny's trying out Jane's tip of singing. He's singing like that Italian opera song or whatever. He notices an immediate improvement in his game to the point where the guy that he was playing golf against is like, I should have shot you myself. I love
It's
that.
so good.
But he asks where Eddie is, and he reveals that, oh, he didn't know he was already dead. And he tells him to call him when he finds out so that he can send the guy flowers. And he actually gives Jane his phone number, which is important. And I feel like Jane
Yes.
was doing this whole thing specifically to get his phone number.
Yeah, it
but
feels that way.
but the fact that he's doing this now kind of sounds like he already suspects the wife, because why would he need this setup, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but it's hard to imagine how exactly why he
Yeah.
would suspect the wife at this point.
Yeah, unless he was just setting it up to like use it against whoever it turned out to be.
I mean, it's possible, but for
Like not
sure
specifically the wife, like just whoever did it. He wanted to have this guy like ready to call on him.
yes, we do learn in this conversation here that the victim is a woman chaser, that he's likely had a lot of affairs.
Mhm.
So, that does, I think, is the first piece of the puzzle to
Yeah.
implicate the wife.
I like that as soon as Jane gets this information, he's like, "All
Oh,
right, I'm out of here." And he like already starts laying the groundwork cuz he calls it
yes.
groundwork later, right? He starts insulting him, already pissing him off. So
Yes. Oh my goodness. He is either very brave or very stupid at this moment.
he's brave when he's already walking away toward more people.
Yes.
But he updates the team and they mention that the person they talk about who they think sprung Ed from the drug charge, and they suspect the marshals. And oh, there's a teacup sighting here. Gene has his green teacup, and Van Pelt reports that Russo's car was found and it was still at work. So Lisbon sends Cho and Rigsby to go see if there's security tapes, because that's where he was last seen, was at work, and he didn't come home from work. So odds are he was taken from that parking lot. So that's like a pretty solid lead for them. But I love that Jane says, "I'm gonna go find the couch." Oh, there it is. Such a Jane thing to say.
Yeah.
So at the arcade show in Rigsby, we find that they learned that the cameras don't work, but the owner tells them that Eddie was picked up by his wife. But when Cho describes Gina, the guy says, "No, that's not her. It's a pretty black lady," and so that leads them to Marshall Knox, who had not said anything about any of this. So Exley shows up at the CBI. He's really pissed off because I guess Lisbon had initiated some kind of thing to look into her, to question her, and it's like,
Yeah, they were doing the internal investigation, internal affairs.
yeah. So he's really upset that he says that they're like, are they trying to ruin her? And so when this is the part where I'm talking about, where Lisbon tells him that they confirmed with Sierra Vista PD that she was the one who got his charges dropped and that she did it under the Marshal Service's name. And he's really surprised by this. And so I guess I can explain it with like it took a while for them to get
Yeah.
that information, maybe because they do imply that Sierra PD is not very good.
Oh, yes, because it took them this long to realize that their victim's car
Was at
was
work.
at work.
Yeah, it brings me comments about that.
Yes.
So Knox is found in her car after an attempted suicide. There's pills on the passenger seat and a note that says "I'm sorry," and so she's in the hospital. And Exley is very different now. He's very cowed, And of course, Jane takes this
Oh my
as
goodness.
time to poke the bear.
Yeah. Your partner almost killed herself. Now let me let me really rub salt in the wound here.
Yeah, he like says, maybe you did it." He's like
Oh
accusing
my
him
goodness.
of doing it, and then says, "Well, the only thing that gives you an alibi is a lack of basic detective skills."
Oh no.
It's one of those things you're like, "Oh my god, James." You can just imagine this been like, oh.
It's Lisbon's birthday. He just wants to give her more paperwork. That's the true gift.
Well, to be fair, I think her birthday was the day before, so it's no longer her
Yes.
birthday. It's her birthday week, though.
She still hasn't got a gift from Jane.
Yeah. I do think that about 3 days pass before the pony comes in, by the way, based on his suits and the days that go by. But yeah, so Lisbon is going to take Cho to hospital to talk to Knox, and Rigsby and Grace are going to go talk to Gina. She tells Jane, "You behave yourself." He asks Grace to borrow her phone, and then he places a prank call to Sunny. He like has her ask for someone named Mary, and then he has Rigsby. He does the same thing with Rigsby's phone, and so he already has everything planned out because he hands Rigsby
Yes.
sunglasses, which is part of
Yes.
his hitman disguise. And he asks him about like what kind of training sweats he has.
If he has the
So
shiny kind. That's so funny.
and it's not shiny though.
No,
Later
not
on,
really.
they just make do with whatever Rigsby has in his locker. But so they go to the three of them go to the Russo house, and Gene has a bag of groceries in his hand. And I like that Rigsby's like, "I'd feel better if Lisbon knew." And he's like, "Well, tell her." The face he gives is like, "I'm not gonna tell her." All it needed was his lollipop. See, I always just put my lollipop in a Ziploc bag with the stick sticking out,
Yeah.
planning to eat it later, but then you can't get it out.
Yeah. Yeah. They're not a practical item.
Rigsby would have just carried it around until he finished it, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He finished that ages ago.
So the plan is for Grace to stay for a few minutes to make her feel comfortable, and then she has to make an excuse and leave. And then at this point, Jane calls Sonny. He's still laying more groundwork. And he asks him if anyone's left any messages for Mary, which upsets him because now he knows that Jane is the source of all these calls he's been getting. So they go inside, and Jane says he's going to cook for her because she says she can't get good red sauce. And I wanted to ask here, so this whole thing about her complaining about how there's no good red sauce, wouldn't she be able to cook her own red sauce? It's tomatoes
Oh,
and
okay.
herbs and seasonings. Like she's like, I don't know. I'm assuming she's like a Italian woman. Like what self-respecting Italian woman can't make her own red sauce if she's got a lack of it around
Yeah.
her?
That's the thing is it's like in so many fanfics, like the perfect first date food is making a red sauce for your spaghetti. I have never in my life made a red sauce.
What?
I know.
Really?
How Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so funny. Because I inspired by this, I'm gonna be making spaghetti tonight.
Nice.
And I cook my sauce from scratch, so
Like routinely, like often?
yeah, like every time
That's
I
your
make
norm?
spaghetti, at
Wow.
least once a month. Yeah, I cook
Wow.
my own sauce. But yeah.
I make my own tortillas, but I
Ah,
don't make my own red sauce. Never.
interesting. So what do you do then?
Just a jar.
Jar? Oh. See, but yeah, I see. So I don't understand why she's so hung up on
Yeah.
sauce. Like, I would think that she just knows how to cook her own, or she can go buy a good bottle. Like, she can. I'm sure you can find the right brand on Amazon, lady.
They might be able to track her.
But really though, a really good red sauce is just good tomatoes, good stewed tomatoes, usually San Marzano, and it's just herbs and spices. So just so this whole like complaint of hers, I'm just like, lady, just go to your stove and cook some. You think other Italian women are out there like, I can't find any good red sauce. What am I gonna do? Maybe she's too rich because she's a former
Yeah.
mafia lady.
Well, yeah,
Everyone else has cooked it
where
for
would
her.
yeah, where was people cooking her red sauce for her back home? Where was she getting this perfect red sauce previously?
I guess takeout Italian restaurants. I don't know. So as they're cooking, though, he asks Gina what Eddie told her to stay busy, and she says he said yoga. Jane makes like a snarky remark about yoga and looks at Grace because so far Rigsby has given her crap about yoga, right?
Yep. Van Pelt gave Lisbon a yoga mat for her
Yeah,
birthday.
yeah.
It's fresh on her mind. They're gonna do classes together.
She actually mentioned the type of yoga that she does. She says it's Ashtanga,
Ashtanga.
oh, which is vinyasa. Okay. But he mentioned something, right, about standing on your head and listening to flute music.
Yes. And it's like he's like looking at Grace like, you gonna respond?
I'm gonna look up vinyasa yoga. Oh, it's a flowing yoga style. She's got
Oh,
flow.
flow.
Maybe Sunny should have done yoga before
There
he
you
played
go.
golf. That would have given him flow.
Oh, also, it's worth noting that when Jane is doing all the prank calls to
Mhm.
Sunny, he is not in flow. He's like
Yeah,
his golf ball's, like, in the sand trap,
yeah.
and he is having so many problems.
So, what do you think caused that? It's just oh, actually, it must be because of all the calls that he's getting. So Jane is
Mhm.
interrupting his flow.
He's angry.
Grace does her thing where she gets a call, and I thought it was funny that I think she's just so irritated with Jane because she had said, "Well, what excuse should I give?" Earlier, and he's like, "Just a work thing." And so when it's time for her to get called away, she just goes, I gotta go, work thing."
He said to keep it vague. That definitely was that.
I thought it was funny that she just uses literally what he said.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they eat, and I thought it was interesting that he cooks the sauce in a skillet instead of a pot. And I guess it's because he's only cooking for two. Maybe I don't know. I was just like, why are you cooking it in a skillet? Because usually I feel like if you cook red sauce in a skillet, that really leads to like spitting
Splatter everywhere.
sauce. Yeah. But I guess you're not
Well,
supposed to have the heat that high anyway, so but
he did borrow an apron, so
yeah, true.
he's okay.
And actually, he's drinking wine here because you had mentioned early on that we rarely see Jane drinking anything but
Oh,
tea.
yeah.
But yeah, he's
Yeah.
drinking wine here. But after they're eating, he tells her that they suspect that he was having an affair with the marshal, and she denies it. And he outright accuses her of killing Eddie. She's like, "How did you do it?" And this is where he starts playing a part of like a corrupt law
Mhm.
enforcement guy, where he's like, "Well, Sonny offered me a deal, so you can either make me look good to the CBI or you can make me look good with Sonny." And so he's giving her a choice. And he's he's calls or he sends a text and says that Sonny's man is on his way. And he's like, I think he's gonna be here kind of quickly. I thought that was funny. But she calls his bluff, and so that's when Jane calls Sonny, and he makes her think that the ranting that Sonny's doing about Mary is about her, because he had told her that Sonny thinks that she's the reason that Eddie turned on him. So the way
Yeah.
that he sets this up is I liked it. It was pretty ingenious the way that he sets everything up so that she thinks that he's pissed at her when actually he's pissed at Jane. Because yeah, he hands her the phone and she gets to hear him like threatening Jane when she thinks it's for her. And then he casually goes to the door. He's like, "Oh, he's here already." She looks outside and there's Brigsby in his hitman outfit. He's wearing like a wife beater and a tracksuit. He's got a toothpick in his mouth. He's got the sunglasses. he looked, he looked really like a hitman, like a stereotypical hitman or a mob hitman specifically. But she does confess, and Jane is recording her, so he had like
Yeah.
his tape recorder ready and everything. And she says that she followed Eddie and Marshall Knox to a motel and then she shot him and dumped his body over a bridge. And then he has Rigsby arrested. But he's looking very intensely at her after her confession. And
Yeah.
so, like I said earlier, like he was looking at her very intensely when he promised her that they would find who did it. So I don't know. Do you think he felt like a sense of maybe not anger, but just maybe disgust or I don't know. Like, what do you think?
I don't know. I kind of read it as his plan has been executed fully and he's like satisfied how it all came together.
Hmm.
But yes, he does. It is very intense with her. I don't know if it's because she killed her spouse.
Hmm. We should pay attention to whether he seems to have some kind of particular disdain for people who murder their spouses.
Yeah.
Because yeah, he doesn't often, I don't think, lean in and look people in the eyes that intensely. So I don't know. It just kind of caught my attention that he paid particular attention to her. But so the last scene is it has Exley. He's very apologetic. He apologizes on behalf of his partner. He apologizes for being out of line and he congratulates him on solving the case. He offers his hand, but Jane pulls him in for a bear hug. I loved his reaction to it. It was really cute. He's like, "Well, that's not how we do it at the marshal's office, but okay." And I kind of like that because yeah, like the fact that he called Lisbon dumb earlier, I was just like, dude, you're so rude.
Mhm.
But yeah,
It's probably good that Jane wasn't there for that conversation.
yeah, I don't think he would have hugged him.
No.
But after he leaves, Lisbon's like, I can't believe you did that. The whole thing with Rigsby and everything. So they walk to her office and she tells him that toying with mafia bosses is stupid. And he says, "You're still grumpy, huh?" And she does look grumpy again, but I think it's because he's brought it up one more time because she's just like, "Will you stop it?" But he sticks a ribbon on her door and she opens it and there's the pony. And she looks initially happy, but
Like, what do I do with the
I
pony?
know, I know. And like so my son was watching this one like last week or so, and after he finished the episode, I was like, that pony totally pooped in Lisbon's office right after. Because those things poop like
Yeah.
often.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's definitely gonna poop in her office. And what is she gonna do with it? Was it an hour long rental, or like did
Yeah,
he
that
literally buy her the pony? I
these are the questions. There are some fanfics where they talk about how, like, she, gave it a nice home somewhere, like it is her pony, and she, like, yeah, found a nice pasture for it to live out its life. It's not like she's going back to visit it.
I feel like I would like prefer like an explanation that he got his carny friends to loan him the pony
Oh,
and then they took
yeah.
it back later. And maybe that's why it was on its way because
Oh,
they were stationed somewhere else and they weren't going to be in town until like a couple days after her birthday. I think I prefer that to him outright buying a pony because
yes,
it's like
I
one of those
agree.
Yeah, like the
He's
idea that he would buy her a pony and then like leave her stuck with it, I don't think he would do that to her. Even though he's always up to shenanigans, I feel like that's a little bit too far.
yeah.
Because I mean, he's shown a love for animals. I feel like he wouldn't do that to Lisbon or do that to a pony.
Yeah, it's really about the pony, I think. What it
Yeah.
comes down to is doing what's right for the pony.
Yeah, and I
But
don't think he would. I don't think he would like literally buy her one.
but the shock value there is
Yeah,
priceless.
yeah. Okay, cold reading. At what point does Jane crack the case? So this is. I had written down that Cho and Rigsby seem to be the ones who crack the case because they're the ones
Yeah.
who find out that Knox was having an affair, right,
Yes.
with
Yes.
Ed, and Jane is the one who gets her to confess. But
Yes. I feel like the first piece of knowledge comes from Jane when he learns that the victim
from
was a
Sunny,
womanizer. Yep. So then finding out that he was actively having an affair, and then it was the marshal and
so do you
everything
think after he
together.
learns this is where his gears start turning and he starts to set up everything? Because after he learns this is when he immediately starts insulting Sunny and he leaves, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, maybe he did crack the case on the golf course in Palm Desert. He's got a long drive to figure everything out. All right, hot reading. So I wanted to mention the golf course that they're on is at a pretty frequent filming location that I noticed throughout the show. It's been used before. I think it was in Seeing Red. He walks around the Pacific Palms. It's this place called Pacific Palms Resort. It's a hotel in Los Angeles, but when he pulls up on the golf court, you can see a hotel in the background, and it's got
Okay.
this double P logo. Like one of the P's is reversed. That's the Pacific Palms logo. But yeah, so they use it frequently. So I added it to our locations in the rewatch checklist. But yeah, like I said, he was walking around there with Christina, and then later we see multiple hotels used, and it's usually at this hotel. Like even in season 7,
Huh.
they use it as a
Interesting.
hotel location for Whites of His Eyes.
Okay.
You know which one I'm talking about?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, it's that hotel. You'll notice later that the interior is always the same, and also for Strawberries and Cream, that hotel.
Interesting.
Yeah, love it.
Okay, I found a few moments from the script here. Originally, when Jane is surprised at Cho's extravagant choice of champagne, apparently this is a very good vintage. In the script, Cho defends it by saying, I think birthdays are important. And it also has Jane guessing the gifts before Lisbon opens them. As they aired it, Lisbon opens them first while he has his eyes
Mm.
covered. And I mentioned this earlier, but the pony comment has made more to the guys instead of reading Lisbon's reaction. And in the script, it says Cho and Rigsby laugh at him. Lisbon glares at Jane with mock ferocity, hefts the piece of cake in her hand with plans of mayhem. But Van Pelt puts down the phone and saves the day. Boss, we got a call. Jane looks relieved.
Wait, so she was about to throw cake at
Throw a
him.
cake at him. Yeah.
That's funny. And it's funny that you say that Cho says he thinks birthdays are important because there was a post on the subreddit a couple weeks ago where somebody's like, "Happy birthday to Kimbo Cho,"
Yes.
and people in the comments were like, "Wait, do we know when Cho's birthday is?" And I was like, "I don't think we do." And people were like, "No, that's not Tim Kang's birthday either." So everybody was just like kind of confused.
Yes.
Like, I
Random
would
birthday post.
I would love to know when Cho's birthday is, but I don't recall any mention of it.
Yeah, I believe this
So
is the only birthday we really see, although we see Jane's birthday. We get Jane's birthday in season
yeah,
7,
yeah.
so kind of a mirror moment.
Maybe it's like some kind of small detail on like a file on Cho or something. We're gonna have to keep an eye
There you go.
out for that.
There you go.
Cho birthday
We'll
watch.
track it down. At one point in the script, they have Cho saying "no problemo," which I just can't imagine him ever saying. So when he said that line, he just said "no problem." Oh, when Jane is having Rigsby and Van Pelt prank calling Sunny, he actually tells them after what they've been doing,
Oh.
who they've been calling, and Rigsby says, "Why are we prank calling the mafia? Why is that a good idea?" And then they have Rigsby call again with a Spanish, like asking in Spanish.
Oh my god, that's so funny because we know that Rigsby can speak Spanish because
Right.
he went down to Mexico, right? And he could talk to the federales down there.
Yeah. Oh, this one is really good. When they're at the house ready to execute the plan, Rigsby says he'd feel better if Lisbon knew their plan. Jane calls him a mama's boy.
Oh my god.
Instead of just saying, "So tell her," he says, "You're a mama's boy."
Which is kind of sad since, Rigsby doesn't really have a mom figure in his life.
Right. Yeah, that was my thought too. Like, oh, that's kind of harsh. There is a line in the script. Van Pelt considers defending Yoga, but her phone rings.
She's about to go off on Jane.
That's right. It's like
Food
it's
music.
and it is like he's trying to goad her with that line. I don't know why. And then at the end, Lisbon's first reaction to the pony is to yell at Jane. But she holds back because she sees that everyone is like surrounding her office and they're smiling. They're like, it's a fun moment. So then she just kind of lets it go and smiles. But I love how they shot it where she's just
Yeah.
like, "A pony. Oh, what do I do with a pony?" Like her facial expression that they went with, I think is perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. I like how they have it too. And on that note, let's go to our rewatch checklist. Jisbin moments. It's the pony. That's the one that we have. But I also think we should note that like the whole thing about him calling her grumpy, that's like his thing, right?
Yeah.
He always likes to
Yeah.
goad her by calling her grumpy.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's groundwork. Locations. So we have Blue Glass Building, and so I've added, like I said earlier, I've added Pacific Palms Resort. I'm gonna have to keep an eye out for that. No additions to the punch list. Suit watch. I noted 3 suits from Jane. There was a matching black suit with a light blue shirt in the beginning, and then a matching charcoal gray suit with a white shirt with thick light gray stripes. And then later he's wearing a charcoal gray jacket with a black vest and a white shirt with wider space gray stripes. We added this episode to our cheat watch. We're already one,
It's
two, three,
crazy.
13 episodes out of 20.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
We did not add this one to Revenge Watch because it's already under Cheat Watch. So, no additions to Red John, Lisbon, or she showed her badge to Gina right side up. So
Good
we
job,
don't need.
Lisbon.
All right, let's get to Jane's Harrowmeter.
Whew.
We have consulted with our friend in the bold pen, Expanse Lover, on rating Jane's hair every week. And so Karin and I are going to give our rating and then we're going to give Expanse Lovers in depth hair analysis. So I have rated Jane a solid 8. He has nice waves in the arcade scene, a little bit messier on the golf course, but yeah, overall, really nice looking.
Yep. I didn't even give it a number just because it's such, yeah, it's effortless. Like it just works in this episode. So I know nothing bad to say about it. I especially enjoyed the lighting in the arcade when it was highlighting it pink and green. I think that
Mm.
was a really fun scene.
I'm a big fan of when he has nice waves.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to Expanse Lover's hair analysis. Red sauce is Jane's hair at first season peak. The swirling curls are just delicious. It is a playful episode, and his hair embodies that emotion. He's confident in all of his plans, from hypnotizing the teenager to golfing with mobsters to using a cooked meal as a way to lead to a confession. And his carefree curls show that in abundance. The slight hairs occasionally peeking out from the curls are like the details of his plan becoming known. It doesn't hurt that in the outdoor scenes there's a golden glow surrounding his head. How else do you walk away from a famous mobster you have just angered? Patrick Jane is the king of flow.
Well said. Well
Amazing.
said.
Very nicely said. Thank you, Expanse.
I also wanted to note Lisbon's hair in this episode because she's wearing it differently. She has some curl to it, and she rarely wears it with the curl.
Mm,
And I don't know, I noticed it in this episode.
she looks good.
She does.
All right, favorite lines. I had totally forgotten that Gina says this, but it's when they burst into her house and Lisbon identifies herself as being from we're from the California Bureau of Investigation, and she says California Bureau of my ass. Amazing.
So good. I picked a line for Neosha, she's the co-host in the Castle unit,
Mm-hmm.
but she and I have been watching Mentalist episodes together for about 5+ years now.
It's crazy.
So this viewpoint about the food is one of her. It's so important to her. She really resonates with this. So I picked this line. You know what the worst part is? The food. They got no good red sauce, no sausage, and they put pineapple on their pizza.
I can't believe this comes from ketchup haters. Oh.
We need to have quality tomato, not ketchup tomato. For the Cho Zinger of the week, I chose just the attitude he has when the marshals burst in on them at the house. And at the end of that encounter, Exley apologizes for scaring them. And Cho says, "That's all right. We weren't scared."
I love that. All right, we're going to take a quick break and then we're going to come back with a new Memory Palace quiz. Okay, we're back with a new Memory Palace quiz for you this week. The way this works is I'm going to ask Karin 6 questions about the episode we just discussed, and you'll have 5 seconds to come up with an answer.
I'm nervous for this one. It feels like we covered everything. So what are you going to pull out?
Well, question 1? What is the name of the arcade that the victim worked at?
Oh, shoot. I'm so bad with names.
It's mentioned a couple of
It
times. You see
is.
the logo, you see the
It's
outside of the
like
arcade.
Game City? Game?
No, it's House of
Ah,
Games.
I knew it had game in it. House of Game.
All right, question 2. Jane guesses that Sunny's favorite singer is either Elvis, blank, or Italian opera.
Sinatra.
Ooh, very good. Question 3. What kind of gun does Jenny Diedrichson pull on the CBI team?
A shotgun.
Very good. Question 4. What is Knox's suicide note written on?
It's like a yellow Post-it note.
Yeah, very good. Very good. Ooh, you've got 3.
Woo!
What colors are the pony Jane gets for Lisbon?
What colors? Like brown and white?
Yeah,
Or
very good.
yes,
It's a brown pony with white hair.
okay.
Very good. Okay, last question. How many inches of snow contributed to the flooding of the body?
4.
Oh, very good. We get this from Cho. Wow, very good. 5 out of 6.
Woo.
We were just talking earlier how Karen tries to figure out what I'm going to ask based on my notes. So I've started doing this on Lucifer. Alternate episode title names. I had Bingo
Yeah.
because he holds up the coin. He says Bingo. And Talking to Mud, Freaksby's
Yes.
idea of talking to teenagers, and Midget Villain. So any last thoughts on this one? I really liked it.
Yeah, I like this one. It just I don't know, it feels kinda like a comfort watch.
Yeah.
It's just easy. It's really fun seeing the team celebrating Lisbon's birthday.
Yeah. It's book ended with two really like nice team scenes, I feel like.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and like I said, I'm inspired. I'm gonna make red sauce tonight.
I am not.
I gotta get you to make it at least one time. I'll send you my recipe and you can give it a try.
Please.
All right. If you're enjoying Rom-Com Detectives, please consider taking a minute to leave us a review or rating on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. If you're on Spotify, Reddit, or YouTube, leave us a comment answering our question of the week by telling us what you would have given Lisbon for her birthday.
Nice.
If you'd like to join additional conversations about The Mentalist, you can visit the Mentalist subreddit at reddit.com/r/The Mentalist, and you can join the Mentalist Bullpen Discord server linked in the sidebar. To contact me and Karen, email us at host@romcomdetectives.com. You can follow us on Instagram, Blue Sky, or Threads at romcomdetectives. If you'd like to ask us a question or tell us your own thoughts about the episode, you can leave us a voicemail or text message at 1-650-733-XOXO or 9696. This episode of Rom-Com Detectives was recorded on January 6, 2026. Rom-Com Detectives Mentalist Unit is co-hosted by Krista Watanabe and Karin Lubbers and is produced by Pico's House. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll catch you guys next time for our breakdown of episode 21, Misread.
Woohoo.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.